Welcome to this short presentation where we will be focusing on active reading and aspects that are included in active reading. In this short presentation, we will be covering the types of reading, which are passive reading and active reading. We will also look at being an active reader, which includes questioning your texts, skimming and scanning. What is passive reading? Now, a passive reader rushes to get to the end of the text, gets easily distracted or can become frustrated, highlights lots of material or maybe makes lots and lots of annotations, reads every text in the same way. Maybe they have no purpose in mind when reading texts and doesn't really reflect on what they have read. Why may you think passive reading is ineffective for academic reading? Pause the video and just take 1 minute to write a couple of notes down. Now let's go through those points now. A passive reader is not paying attention to the main ideas of the text. They may get bogged down in unnecessary detail. They may not question information or may not make the connections between the text. And they may be less likely to retain the information long term if they are not actively engaged with what the text is producing. What is active reading? Now, an active reader may consider what they are looking for before reading a text. They may also think about how the texts connect together. They may adjust their reading style and speed depending on the difficulty of the academic reading that they are doing. They may pause to think about the text as they read. Pausing will also allow you to digest any more difficult pieces of information when reading academic texts. They may also annotate with thoughts and questions as they move through, but do this sparingly, unlike a passive reader may do. They may also write notes in their own words, and writing notes in your own words sometimes allows you to understand a piece of text in a much better way than what you have read it in the first place. Now, what do you think might be some challenges of being an active reader? Again, pause the video for a minute and just write a couple of things down. Now, just to go through those couple of points, it could be time consuming. It will take practice. And it may not come naturally at first. Now, all of these things can be worked upon. At the start, it could be very time consuming, and it may actually take some time when you're looking at more difficult or much longer pieces of academic text. Of course, it's going to take practice like any reading, and again at the start it may not come naturally, so keep practicing if it does not work the first few times. Now, question your text. Active reading is also called reading for a purpose. Before you start to read a text, identify what your specific purpose is. Use this to devise questions that you want answered. And some of the reading strategies later in this module will help you devise those texts and actually has steps in those strategies to ensure that you ask some good questions. Now, firstly, consider what you already know about the topic. Are there any gaps? Then, think about a particular assignment or task when reading. What kind of information may help you develop an argument? 3. Devise questions that will serve your purpose in reading the text. Are you looking for information or arguments? Now, very quickly, just a comparison of some good and some bad questions here. Now, good questions should be tailored to specific needs, open to different responses, and may consider pros and cons of particular texts. Now, bad questions necessarily could be broad or general, fact-based, or looking solely for a backup. The one thing you do not want to do is just to try and find information on a one-sided or biased argument. Now, 2 methods of reading here that could help you when active reading are skimming or scanning. Now, skimming and scanning text are essentially strategies for being an active reader. They both serve different purposes, so it is worth practicing both strategies with the texts that you read. Now, skimming allows you to get an overview to decide whether or not to read something. It allows you to get a sense of the general idea and tone of the text, and you can use it as a preview before more detailed reading can occur. Scanning is where you can look for material to respond to a specific question. You can also search for keywords or facts, and you can use it to help you find specific information quickly. So, skim reading strategies. Read the key sections, consider the table of contents or chapter overview, and take a look at the headings. Read the introduction and conclusion. Read the key sentences. Read the first and last sentences of each paragraph. Keep an eye out for any key words that appear. Read around the key words. When you find key words, read the entire sentence. You might also read the sentence before or after these key areas. Now, scanning strategies. Choose some keywords. Depending on the topic, identifying some keywords or search terms may help you find some more information. Hunt for relevant clues. So look through the text for one keyword at a time. Glance over the text rather than reading every single word. Now, one point I should make here is you could also do this using your computer. On a PDF document or on a website, you can press Ctrl F and that will bring up a little box where you can type in a certain keyword. And you can use this to help you with this scanning strategy. The last one, devise questions for answering. Decide what you want to know from the text. Use these to guide your choice of key search terms. And together, these strategies, along with questions, will aid you in being an active reader when reading research papers.